What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, September 19th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Oh, and good news, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay, guys, we have a 12-game slate today. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Garrett Cole with an 8% pitching advantage over a low salary batting team, the Cleveland Indians. Garrett Cole is only giving up a .568 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 5 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Indians have only hit 6 of his last 48 pitches. That's a 125 batting average. And Garrett Cole is $11,500 FanDuel salary, $600 less on DraftKings, projected at 37.3 fantasy points here tonight. He has an ERA of 2.75. His record is 15-7 on the season, pitching an average of 99 pitches per game, averaging 43 fantasy points per game. He scored 39, 11, and 73 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Garrett Cole here versus the Cleveland Indians. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Bobby Dalbec with a 64% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Alexander Wells. Bobby Dalbec, he's batting 16% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .977 OPS versus lefties. And Alexander Wells, he pitches his worst ball by far to righty batters, 48% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.292 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Wells yet, and Bobby Dalbec is $3,500 FanDuel salary, $200 less on DraftKings, projected at 12.6 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 19, 22, and 21 fantasy points in his last 3 games. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 10 runs scored in this game, so I like Bobby Dalbec here versus Alexander Wells.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Trea Turner with an 86% batting advantage over Wade Miley. Trea Turner is batting 25% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.141 OPS versus lefties. And Wade Miley, he pitches his worst ball by far to righty batters, 61% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .943 OPS versus righties. Trea Turner is 4 for 6 with a 1.334 OPS versus Miley. He's $4,400 FanDuel salary, $1,500 more on DraftKings, projected at 11.3 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 15, 3, and 16 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Trea Turner here versus Wade Miley. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Patrick Wisdom with a 23% batting advantage over Eric Lauer. Patrick Wisdom is batting 6% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .860 OPS versus lefties. And Eric Lauer, he pitches almost his worst ball. He pitches 17% worse to righties as he does lefties. He pitches a little bit worse to switch hitters, so it's not his worst ball, but he gives up a .877 OPS versus righties. And there's no at-bats versus Lauer yet. And Patrick Wisdom is $2,800 FanDuel salary, $1,300 more on DraftKings, projected at 12.6 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 9, and 19 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Patrick Wisdom here versus Eric Lauer.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. Here's another value play. I like Jose Iglesias with a 53% batting advantage over that low-salary pitcher, Alexander Wells. Jose Iglesias, he bats 5% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .846 OPS versus lefties. And Alexander Wells, we know he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 48% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.292 OPS versus righties. So I think this is a good spot to stack some righties versus Alexander Wells. And Jose Iglesias is only $2,500 FanDuel salary, $900 more on DraftKings, projected at 8.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 13, and 16 fantasy points in his last 3 games. And we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 10 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Jose Iglesias here versus Alexander Wells. Oh, and just real quick, a stud pick at the shortstop position. One of my favorite players in baseball. I like Xander Bogaerts with a 57% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Alexander Wells. So you can really stack up these righty batters versus Alexander Wells, because Xander Bogaerts, he's batting 9% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .929 OPS versus lefties. And Alexander Wells, we know he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters. And there's no at-bats versus Wells yet. Xander Bogaerts is $4,100 FanDuel salary, $700 more on DraftKings, projected at 13.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 38, 6, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Xander Bogaerts in this righty batter stack here versus Alexander Wells. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. So I like Fernando Tatis Jr., JD Martinez, and Mookie Betts. Those are all some studs that I like here tonight. But if you want to save a little bit of salary here and go with a good pick, take a look at Frank Schwindel with a 42% batting advantage over Eric Lauer. Frank Schwindel is batting 24% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.235 OPS versus lefties, and Eric Lauer is giving up a .877 OPS versus righties. Frank Schwindel is only $3,400 FanDuel salary and only $200 more on DraftKings, projected at 13.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 22, and 12 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Frank Schwindel here versus Eric Lauer.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.